Okay. We are back. Um, just as usual, I'm just going to quickly check to see if everything's working. So give me a second. Um, okay, yeah, that's working. That's good. I can see my chat. Let's go. Okay. Hi guys, welcome in. We won a game. It's a miracle. We won a game. This is the first. I think this might genuinely be the first time in months that Chelsea haven't ruined my weekend. Honestly. I'm probably gonna keep this stream relatively short, um, because I've got stuff to do, and obviously I haven't got as many points to talk about because I would kind of be rambling about the same things I've kind of already touched on in the past. But obviously I do have my I have one, two, three, four, five, six things for this episode. Um, but yeah. Wait, did I not change my stream title? One sec. Thank you for pointing that out. There we go. There we go. It should say 2-0 now. Sorry, I just didn't update that from my last one against United. Cool, I need to pause this. Alright. It wouldn't be one of my streams without it being scuffed at the start. Lord, believe me now. Before we start here, I do just want to quickly say that I just want to send my wishes out to Tom Lockyer, who's collapsed today at the Bournemouth Luton game. I know he had a very similar thing like some time ago, and it's never nice to see that happen. Obviously, we've been getting reports that he's awake and he's at the hospital now, so hopefully he does recover well. Yeah, just wanted to say that on record. But yeah, get well soon, dude. Right, and with that out of the way, let's hit this intro. Let's go. Lads, lasses, and the rest of the masses, welcome back to the channel. I'm Mono from Mono CFC, and this is GBU Live. Okay, it worked. Cool. For some reason, it delayed there for a second. I don't know why, but there we go. Cool. Everyone, welcome to GBU Live. As I said, I'm not going to dwell on this too much, but I have 6 things to say. As always, we'll go from the goods to the bads to the uglies and then back to the goods and finish on a positive note. I just want to apologise straight up. You can probably tell my voice is kind of dying. So we'll try and get through this without too many voice cracks, but there we are. So Chelsea 2, Sheffield United 0, and we have actually won a game. We're up to, as someone pointed out in chat, 22 points. We are 5 points, I believe, off of European spots now. Back into 10th. No, back into being 10th FC. Just behind Fulham. Obviously, there's games for Bournemouth, Brentford, obviously, because the Bournemouth game was suspended. Bournemouth and Brentford that still have to play, that could push us down. But for now, we are in 10th. We have won the game. Oh, it feels good to say that. We have another game on Tuesday, I believe, is our cup tie against Newcastle before going to Wolves. Wolves is a game which I think that we should, again, be expected to win, so hopefully we can get some momentum from this game and push on to win that. But let's start with the first good, and I think everyone can kind of guess who's going to go in here straight away. The man that we absolutely scammed Manchester City for, it's Cole Palmer. Obviously, he got a goal, he got an assist, he was absolutely robbed of another assist by Broja, who should have had a tap-in, but inexplicably missed. I honestly have no clue how he's missed that. He's rusty, he's coming back from an injury, I can't put too much blame on him. I wish I had a kind of time this between now and our next game to do a tactical breakdown, because I think Cole Palmer's position and how it changed throughout the game was what really dictated this game and how we won. I will touch on the tactical things a little bit later in this stream, so I won't talk about that too much now. He has now equalised Mount's open play assist tally for Chelsea already. I think he's got 11 goals and assists in 14 games, I believe, which is absolutely mind-boggling for a player that we only got for like 40 million, which I think it was 34 million, right? Maybe with add-ons, I'm not sure. But for that price in today's market is incredibly cheap, and for a player that is coming good every single time he plays, pretty much. He's had a few lackluster games in recent times, but he seems back to his best. And not only that, but just obviously just dictating the play as usual, and kind of being that kind of the player that keeps things ticking and keeps the team kind of playing together. I think he really did really well today, Cole, and hopefully he can keep this form up and stays on that right wing, because the first half was not good. And in fact, we could actually go into that straight away. I'll go into what I'm going to be putting in the medium box, and it's going to be for Pochettino, because he would be here if the second half was as the first half was, because the way he set us up in the first half was absolutely awful. I have no clue what that first half was, and honestly, I can't really remember much of it, because I was so bored. In actuality, I was sitting there like, when is this half going to be over? But the switch that he did, and I said I'll talk about this a little bit here. So he swapped us. We were playing like the usual kind of 4-2-3-1/4-3-3 thing, with Caicedo as an anchor, Gallagher and Cole Palmer playing as centre mids, and Palmer playing in that right centre mid spot just doesn't suit him, in my opinion, because he always seems to receive the ball with his back to goal, and he always has to play backwards. Whereas when he's out on the wing, because he's parallel to the sideline, he can always kind of play the ball forward or switch it to the other side, and he plays much better there. We swapped from this 4-3-3 into like a 4-2-4, I would like to say. I couldn't really tell if Sterling was playing as a cam or a second striker. I think he was kind of playing a bit further up the pitch, so I would like to say it's a 4-2-4. Obviously, Palmer shifting out to the right, Mudryk shifting out to the left, Jackson playing as a left striker and Sterling as a right striker, and that suited the team so much better. Not only because it made us have more bodies forward, but also because it transitioned Caicedo into a kind of box-to-box role, which is what I've been saying. I really want to see him in this kind of box-to-box role, less as a DM. Yeah, so I've bumped him up to the medium box here. I still need to change this to the medium box. It's not actually bad, just because he basically redeemed himself from that first half, which was absolutely awful. So it cancels each other out, and he goes in the middle box. Let's go into the ugly box. And in a game which you win 2-0 and you get a clean sheet for a debuting goalkeeper, I haven't actually got Petrovic in this 6 things that I'm going to be talking about here, but shout out to him, because he got a clean sheet and looked very calm despite the not too many things to do in the game. He looked good whenever he had the ball at his feet. He made a good save from a free kick from Gustavo Harmer. So I can't really find many things to put in this ugly box. So the only thing I can really put in this ugly box is the fact that Nkunku didn't play. And that's the only thing I can put here, because that's the one thing which I wish we would have gotten out of this game, was just to see him play for 5 minutes or so. But I do understand why he didn't. It gives him some extra rest before our next game, gives him a few more training sessions to kind of get that rust off, because it would have been awful if he did come on for like 10 minutes and then get injured again. So there's silver lining there. As I said, we head to Newcastle next. I don't know if he'd play too much in the Newcastle game, but hopefully he'll start against Wolves in the game after. We'll go straight back into the goods, and the second player that I'm going to put in here is someone who I've already mentioned, and that's Moises Caicedo. This was by far, in my opinion, his best ever performance in the Chelsea shirt. He was passing it around well, keeping control, defending well, and even got up the pitch, as I said earlier, to support the attack in the second half. And just kind of proving my point when I say that he is so much better when he's played as like a defensive-minded, he doesn't really play like an 8, but he's a defensive-minded box-to-box player. He plays good as a 6 when there's another 6 with him. You know what I mean? And he was just phenomenal. I think he was the one player in the first half, except for maybe Mudryk, that one shot aside, that actually performed in the first half. I think he was excellent in the first half, and even more so in the second. This is the player that we spent so much money on, and I hope that he keeps this form up, because I don't even think that me saying this is his best ever performance in the Chelsea shirt, I don't think this is the best ever performance that we can get out of him. I think he has so much more to offer than what we saw of him today. And he still hasn't reached his full potential, and if he's going to be playing like this and there's more to come, then we have got such a good player on our hands. And I look forward to seeing how he plays in later games. The next person, the next two things I've just got are also goods. Obviously, when you win 2-0, there's going to be a lot of goods. The next player I'm going to be putting in here, I could have given this to the entire defence as a whole, as we got a clean sheet and never really looked like conceding, but I think one player in particular was a standout for me, and that was Benoit Badiashile. I cannot describe how comfortable he looks when he is in this defence, and he looked a bit shaky a couple of games ago, but I think he's back to his best now. He's just really, really solid, and it just never looked like anyone was going to get past him. A lot of people like to throw around the term like a Rolls Royce of a defender for centre-backs, and I think that Badiashile is one of those. He just looks so composed, and he doesn't ever look phased. Again, obviously the threat coming his way wasn't the greatest, so we can't judge him too much on that, but after coming back from such a bad injury and not having a lot of first team football in recent times, he looked great. And next to Thiago Silva, who also I think was great. If I was going to rate our defense based on who was the worst and who was the best, I'd put pretty much everyone at the same kind of level: Silva, Badiashile, and Disasi, and then Colwill a little bit further down, just because I just don't think that he's good at left back. I do want to point out as well, I've been saying for the last few weeks that we should be playing Disasi at right back when we don't have anyone else to play there, and not Cucurella. I think Disasi did way better at right back in this game than Cucurella ever could, if I'm being honest. And people always this is a weird thing, so people like to say that I'm going off on a tangent here, it's my ADHD, but they're going off on a tangent here. Disasi, people always say that Disasi is really slow, and I saw him running down the wing and outpacing his opposite number in this game. I was surprised. I was like, he's overlapping. But yeah, I think going back to my original point, I think Benoit was just back to that player that we saw last season, that we kind of thought we'd absolutely scammed. This, I think, the way that I would describe him, I think under the new ownership, under Clearlake and Burley and Co, I think he is definitely our most value for money signing that we've got. I think he is by far the best value for money signing we've got, other than Palmer. But yeah, he's settled in really well now, and hopefully he continues this form, because I think he will retain his place in the starting lineup if he keeps playing like this. The last player that I'm going to be putting in here, and this will be the last point, I don't know if other people will rate his performance as much as I will. I will admit I do have a slight bit of a bias towards this guy, but I'm going to be putting in Nicholas Jackson. I don't think he had the greatest performance, but the striker's job is to get into positions and score goals, and that's exactly what he did. And we have seen so many times in games where that exact same ball has happened, where it goes straight across the face of goal and no one's at the back post to tap it in. So glad that he was there to tap it in. It was a really strange goal. The referee, I don't think anyone on the pitch knew that it was a goal, and then the PA announced that it was a second goal for the second Chelsea goal was for Jackson, and everyone was like, is it? Did it count? We don't know, because everyone was thinking, all of the Sheffield United players stopped thinking it was a penalty or something. Half of our team stopped thinking it was a penalty. Jackson puts it in, and we all just stand there like, did we win? we don't know. I have seen. I would put Sterling in here, but I don't think he particularly. Obviously, he didn't get a goal contribution or anything, and I don't think he particularly was the reason why we played well. I think it was more so he played better when he got put into that second striker role, and I think it was more of a result of the actual setup than Sterling as a whole. But you know what? Because I'm a nice guy, I'll put him in here. But yeah, I haven't really got much more to say about that. But basically, with Jackson, the thing with Jackson, right, is that, as I said, I think the striker's job is just to score goals. For my money, a striker can play awfully every single game as long as they're getting goals. And he now has equaled Havertz's goal contribution tally in half as many matches that we had from last season. So people can say that Jackson's bad or whatever. I do think, obviously, he doesn't play well as a lone striker. And we saw that with Sterling coming into that kind of supporting striker role, and he played so much better, I think, in that second half. And obviously, it's a good habit for us to get into, to play that way, because obviously when Nkunku comes back, Nkunku's best position is as a second striker. So I think that what will happen in the coming weeks is we might actually start playing this kind of 4-2-4-esque formation with Nkunku on the left side next to Jackson on the right, and I think that would be a very good thing. We saw that kind of combination in pre-season. Oh yeah, Sterling did assist Palmer. Yeah, you're right, actually. What am I talking about? Yeah, he did, totally. Cool, I'm glad I put him in here now. But yeah, so as long as he's scoring goals, and as I said, as long as he's not as useless as Havertz was when he's here, then I'm gonna be happy. As I said, don't have too much to say. In fact, oh god, I do have another thing. I do want to put Mudryk in here because I want to put Mudryk in here because I think that in the first half he was our most creative player. He wasn't as good in the second half, so I'm kind of putting him in the middle bit here. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out as well. We have a lot of things to celebrate from this game, man. It's 3 points. It's good. It's nice to see us winning a game, and as I said, it's nice to have my weekend not absolutely ruined by my club every single week. Yeah, I think again, Gallagher was. I think at this point, Gallagher is so. For me, he's so. What's the word? Commonly good in that role that I just don't feel like. I don't think he had like an over-average performance, if you know what I mean. He didn't like overperform to the point where I could point out that he had a good performance. I think he just played well, and that's what he kind of does every time, except for maybe against Everton. He didn't really have the best game. Although I think Gallagher was actually our highest rated player in that game too. So yeah, hang on. Let me just look through chat, just see if there's anything that I've. Let's just see if I've. Missed anything. Sorry, I when I get onto like when I'm in my flow and I'm talking, I don't really get to look at chat too much. So I think I might start doing this at like the end of stream. So I just kind of look through chat and see if there's anything I've missed. But yeah, I do agree actually with Joshua in chat. I do agree with the whole like right back left back thing needs to kind of stop. We kind of suffered from that, and obviously it's a bit weird when you have, obviously I know Gusto was coming back from injury, so he wasn't going to be rushed into the lineup, but it's weird having Maatsen just not play especially when Poch is known when he was at Southampton and Tottenham for being like his systems being really focused on attacking fullbacks, and like I highlighted this in my most popular video on the channel, which basically carried my channel, to be honest, where I explained Pochettino's 4-2-3-1 and how that functioned, which I believe is always, that video is pretty much linked in every single one of my descriptions. I don't think it's in the description of this, but it will be in like my breakdowns and stuff. But like he always I don't get why he's playing like multiple centre backs. I think he's just doing that thing where it's like he's trying to be like a bit like everyone does this nowadays. He's just trying to be a bit like Pep Guardiola, and just everyone just kind of copies what Pep Guardiola does if they want to play like attacking football. But yeah, I kind of go off on tangent, but yeah, that will be GBU Live for today. As I said, we move on to Newcastle in the Cup. There will be a preview for that the day before on the Monday, as that game is on the Tuesday. As I said, unfortunately, I don't have the time in between these two games to do a tactical breakdown on this game, which is unfortunate because I'd really like to have broken down like the differences between the two formations that we played in the first half and the second half, but that's sod's law, isn't it, really? It's just hard to fit all the games in this busy holiday period. But yeah, that was GBU Live. I'll let everyone get to their evenings. I hope you guys have a good evening, and I will talk to you in the next video. Peace. But that was just my GBU match review for this week. Thank you ever so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this match in the comment section below, and if you'd be so kind, subscribe to the channel and leave the video a like if you enjoyed. Don't forget to tap the notification bell so you never miss a video from me, or check out some of the other videos on the channel on screen right now. I've been Mono from Mono CFC, and remember, in the rain or in the dry, keep that blue flag flying high. Come on, you Blues.